5:30, we're going to call the meeting to order. Would you please stand and salute the United States flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we'll salute the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Now, Cheyenne, would you lead us in a prayer?
Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day, and I thank you for the rain. I thank you for our school district and our leaders. I just pray that you would be with us tonight, help us to make decisions that honor you, and I just ask that you would protect us this school year and just have your angels watch over our kiddos and our teachers, and we just pray for your blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Student spotlight.
Well, tonight we're honoring 3 young men who've already graduated, and they already look older since May. They've become men overnight. And I went to school with all 3 of their dads and one of their moms, and in spite of that, they're great kids. Now these 3, we'll start with Jonathan Chavez. And Jonathan, he basically is a state champion. And so Mr. Sanchez brought a medal and a certificate. But let me tell you a little bit about what he did. He was named a Texas State Solo and Ensemble Contest Outstanding Performer, and basically that's the equivalent of winning state. And it was pretty interesting to see how many people he had to go through to get to that. But to be named an Outstanding Performer, you have to be among the best out of approximately 25,000 musicians. That's a lot of kids. And less than 2% of students who perform solo performances receive this award. Jonathan performed with such great musicality that his adjudicator stated, "Oh boy," when he got done. So he must have made a big impression. Also, Jonathan just recently passed his Certified Nursing Assistant examination, so he's a fully certified CNA. And on top of that, I talked to Ms. Cummings to get a quote from her, and she said, "Jonathan's always got a positive attitude. He's willing to step up in any situation. He's a team leader. He was loved by all the residents at the Meadows, and they really missed him when he was not there anymore." Ms. Shove, principal at the high school, said Jonathan always stood out as a student who always had a smile on his face and a can-do attitude. In addition to his musical talents, the health science training allowed him to really help out the campus. He worked with Nurse Tori and the campus broadcasting team to help create videos that modeled how to perform CPR, use the defibrillator, and the Heimlich maneuver. And so they used those videos as teaching tools for the kids. And so that was really something else neat that Jonathan did. So we really want to congratulate him, give him his medal and his big certificate. And so, Jonathan, if you'll come on up, and Mr. Sanchez, anyone else from the high school who wants to be up here with him?
You want his family members up here?
Yes, family too, come on up. There you go, Jonathan. Congratulations. You've been knighted. Well, let's get over here in the middle. We'll get a picture for the newspaper. JJ, don't be shy.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Yep. All right. Next up, Braylon Beasy. Braylon's being honored again. All 3 of these guys not only did great things on the field or in competitions, but they're just good kids, really good kids. And so he's being honored tonight because of basically he's one of the best baseball players we've ever had. And I was going through these statistics with Coach Smith, and my gosh, he owns like every pitching record there is now. And so it's really quite an accomplishment. Way better than what Zeb was. This is more of a roast of the parents. But Coach Smith had the following to say about Braylon. What makes Braylon such a special athlete is not only his dedication to his craft, but his willingness to help out the community and the kids in it. He spent countless hours doing community service tasks, from picking up trash on the side of the road to volunteering to help out numerous youth baseball players. Braylon has always gone above and beyond to give back to the community. And here come all the awards. He's earned superlative awards every year he's played for us, starting with Newcomer of the Year in 2021, Defensive MVP in 23, Pitcher of the Year this past 24 season. He was named to the first team Super Syntax, and to round out his accomplishment, he was named to the second team All-State team at pitcher and first base. So listen to this, he's the only He's the first Hornet baseball player to ever accomplish that feat of receiving second team All-State, and was the only player to make the second team All-State team at multiple positions. So that's really unique. And so he will go down as the greatest pitcher to ever come through Gatesville thus far, also earning the following Hornet baseball records. First all-time season strikeout leader with 125. First in all-time career strikeouts, 275. First in all-time season win-loss record, 9-1 this past season. First all-time career win-loss record, 22-5. First all-time ERA with a 1.93. And in this fall, he's going to go and keep playing at Temple College. So, brother, we're really proud of you. You did a great job. Brother, come on up. I'm going to miss you guys. Any other high school folks want to come up here? Aaron, Ricky, you want to come up?
Okay, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right. Lawson Mooney. I don't know what else we can say about Lawson. He's won everything we've had. Again, another kid that was great on and off the field, and sometimes we focus so much on the field accomplishments and we don't think enough about how all three of these guys were really good kids and really good representatives for Gatesville. But Lawson was recently honored at the Waco Tribune Herald for the 2024 Male Athlete of the Year. And that's, again, another first time that any Gatesville player has ever received that. Coach Hunter had the following to say about Lawson. As a 4-year starter for the football team, Lawson's impact on the field has been profound. Twice elected football captain by his teammates, he earned first team All-District honors in 21 as a sophomore, was named co-defensive MVP in 22 as a junior, and was voted the 11-4A defensive MVP his senior year. Additionally, as a senior, he was voted second team All-State defensive back on the 2023 Texas Sports Writer Association's All-State team. During his 4-year career, he broke the school record for all-time career tackles with an impressive 519, a record that stood since 2000. Lawson also excelled on the baseball diamond, being named first-team All-District outfielder as a freshman, first-team All-District and co-offensive MVP both his junior and senior years, while also receiving first-team Super Syntax honors as a senior. In track, his accomplishments include becoming a district champion in the 4x100 relay, and a regional qualifier in both the open 100 meters and the 4x100 relay. And also in academics, he's equally outstanding, as evidenced by his recognition as a first-team academic All-State honoree in 24. And so Lawson is going to go run track at Dallas Baptist University. Have you been training, Lawson?
I have.
Okay. You seemed a little bit sketchy there, wasn't you? Lawson, come on up. Family, come on up.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Go, thank you.
Now, enough about the kids. We need to honor some adults, too. Lee James is here. Lee is going to be our community spotlight for the month because Lee does so much for us, and he doesn't get paid anything. Lee has been doing Hornet Radio for years and years and years. We've got some statistics on that here, too. But, you know, Lee's always buying equipment out of his pocket and doing extra things to make Hornet Radio and Hornet Broadcasting even bigger and better. And he just does it out of the goodness of his heart. And so I asked Coach Phillips to give me some background on Lee, and he started Hornet Radio in 2012 as a way to bring excitement to the Hornet athletics via the airwaves. The broadcast began with Hornet Radio, but then the lineup expanded to include other GHS sports and playoffs. Hornet Radio added live streaming in 2020, and its coverage and viewership of Hornet sports expanded both locally and outside of Gatesville. Lee and all of his on-air staff enjoyed an extensive audience of viewers from near and far on game nights. I know, Lee, y'all got some people calling in from far, far away. Those game nights now include football, volleyball, basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, and tennis. And there's even been a live stream track meet as well. Besides the live streaming, Hornet Radio also provides a weekly fifth quarter show throughout the school year that recognizes and promotes Hornet teams, athletes, coaches, and the athletic department. I know the kids are really proud when you spotlight them. Besides promoting everything related to Hornet sports, Hornet Radio also streams and promotes other non-athletic events in the community. They provide scholarships to student athletes, and their presence is felt community-wide. And so we really appreciate Lee and want to do a little something just to honor him and let him know that we do think about him and what he does is amazing, and just all out of the goodness of his heart. So we try to keep Lee happy so he doesn't quit. So, Lee, come on up. Is it just me and Lee? Does anybody want to? Velvet wouldn't come?
She's busy. Thank you.
Lee, thank you.
Thank you.
Lee, want to give you an opportunity. Did you have anything you want to say?
I mean, I appreciate the honor. It's been fun over the years, and it really doesn't seem like it's been 13 years since I started this. It's just been so much fun, and really an honor to see all of the kids that have come through and the things that we've been able to touch the community and family members and stuff. And I hope that I get to keep doing it for a long time.
We hope you do too. Yeah, it's been great. Well, one more honoree, and in the summer we do Hornet Legends, and these are folks that have been maybe out of education for some time but had a profound impact on us. And so tonight we're honoring Dennis Taylor. Dennis Taylor was a longtime elementary school principal. I think he has on his UT orange, I think. And Dennis did it for many, many years. In fact, I think it was over 30 years. And he's still in the community. And I wanted to read you a few things about Dennis, but he received his bachelor's degree in 1966 and his master's in 75, both from Tarleton. In 66, Mr. Taylor began his 33-year career in education with a one-year stint in Pearsall. The next 2 years, he came to the State School for Boys here in Gatesville. But then in 1969, Mr. Taylor began teaching in Gatesville and would dedicate the next 30 years of his life to GISD. He was a positive male role model to generations of young people. In one of his evaluations, Don Edwards said the following about Dennis. Mr. Taylor does an outstanding job of teaching. He's a great deal of help to me with various problems that arise in the elementary building. He's always available for other teachers if they have a serious discipline problem, and I'm in the primary building. That was back when Don split between two campuses. He's an asset to our school. In the middle of his career, Mr. Taylor would then become principal of the elementary campus. Tracy Barnes wrote, Dennis is an excellent instructional leader. He's receptive to new ideas and information to improve professionally. He's a very capable administrator. As a kid, I was scared to death of this. Then one day in high school, I saw him in Taco Bell and he came up to here. Dennis was always kind, and as an adult and as a young man, and he's a unique guy. He collects marbles, right, Dennis? And huge UT fan, and his sneezes can be heard from around the campus. That was what we remembered him as a kid. But Dennis, did you want to say anything before you come up here?
No, thank you.
Well, Dennis, family, y'all come on up.
I'm afraid to say anything. Everybody knows.
Yeah. Dennis, we're glad you could make it.
So thank you.
Yeah. We got
Put that down.
Okay. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. Gotcha. Thank you.
That's true, yeah.
I covered for him for years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can tell that from what he wrote. Yeah. Yeah, David Scott from the Messenger was saying that he used to give marbles to his dad.
Not to my son.
Or to his son, yeah. Yeah.
Leave them in the mailbox.
Well, I still have them if anybody needs any more. But I do make the Wahoo board.
Yes.
That was made in Gatesville back
Yes.
in the late 50s and early 60s.
Yeah.
I'll make the replica of it based on that. And so if anybody's looking, I'll be glad to give them.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal.
I remember Dr. Carlin needs a lot of marbles because he lost.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember the patrol boys. You were in charge of all the patrol boys, and yeah.
Don finally gave that job to me, and so I was in charge of it for several years.
Well, I was also afraid of you in the third
Yeah.
You usually make the guys ready. We have to pull those churros off of those.
Now, I didn't have Calvin, but I had some of his brothers and I had his sister. Calvin, Carl and I got to know each other real well.
Yeah.
But there's a young man that heard stories about me in 3rd grade, and everybody knows him. And the day that school opened, his mother brought him to school, and he checked every 4th grade teacher and saved me for last. And when he got to my list and saw his name, he broke down and cried. Now, today, he outweighs me by 100. He's a big kid.
Yeah.
I still call him one of my kids.
Yeah.
But it's a story that, in fact, the other night at that fish fry, his mother brought that story up. She said, "Can you believe he's
Yeah.
on that?" But anyway, before the year was out, we loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a good relationship. So.
And he also says, "I'll never forget." And he'll come up and hug Dennis no matter where we are.
Yeah.
And he'll say, "I'll never forget the day you bust my butt."
This is your great role model for the boys, especially. Yeah, yeah, we thank you.
Well, thank all of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I'm sure all of you would love to stay here for the rest of the meeting, but you don't have to. If you'd like to go down, this is a good time where most people leave, but you're surely welcome to stay, but you don't have to. Thank you, guys. Everybody leaves.
Same thing happens to me.
At the city council, that's right, yeah.
Seeing that there's no one here to give a public comment. The room is vacant. We'll move on to the consent agenda, which is minutes of June 17th, financial statements of as of June 30th, bills and payroll, budget amendments, year-to-date budget amendments and fund balance, vital signs, T-tests, certified appraisers, calendar, and so forth. Does anybody want to pull any of those? Do I have a motion that we accept them? Calvin? Do I have a second? Okay, Mr. Hobson? All in favor? All right, information items. We'll start with attendance tracks.
Yep, only 2 information items tonight. This is one that Scott usually does, but he's at a training tonight. Basically, each year the school district has to operate to get that 75,600 minutes. That's, they don't do days anymore. You got to get the 75.6 in minutes. And that includes intermissions, recesses, all that good stuff. And so alternative education programs must operate and provide at least 43,200 minutes. All attendance tracks for Gatesville schools are in compliance. We have been forever. The following information is based on the approved start and end times that y'all approved, I think, last month. So basically, pre-K, they get 77,520. Primary, elementary, intermediate, you see all their different respective numbers there. It's up here as well. Basically, all the campuses eclipse that required number, and so does the AEP. So that's that cushion we have in case there's a ice storm, a flood, a tornado, and so we've got plenty of days or minutes built in to where if we do have to take some time off for bad weather unexpectedly, we can. And so just an information item to let y'all know each summer we're still on track as far as this, so we're good to go.
All right.
And then the other information item is we haven't gotten any STAR accountability ratings yet. That all has to do with, will come around August 15th is when it will hit the public. The districts are supposed to get it a couple of days before that in a TEAL program. But basically, in looking at the scores, they're down as we expected. If you recall, about this time last year, I had written even an article to the paper about how the state of Texas is trying to make public schools look poorly in the accountability ratings because they're still pushing their school choice initiative. And so the governor, being upset that school choice did not pass, was able to successfully primary out a lot of those Republicans in rural areas that were still loyal to public school. He got them out of there. And so this next biennium, he has the votes now to get school choice, which is fine. But we're hoping that he will lose his vindictive side and give public schools some funding. I went to TASB's, some of their updates, and we gave them to Mr. Frazier last month. He read some of them, and I think, 33% of districts were running like a deficit budget. Another 33% weren't giving any raises. So basically, he's really put the screws to public school in order to, make things as difficult as possible. Some other things I just want to point out about the scores too, and we'll look at these as well. Got one little visual here. Now that's what I wrote about it here. Here we go. So anyway, here's a side by side. Some areas were up, most areas were down some. And let me tell you some of the reasons why. One, the test is more difficult. The questions are trickier. It's not just multiple choice anymore. You have to be able to drag and drop and do other things on the computer. And so at least 75% of the test is multiple choice, but the rest of it is all different types of questions. In addition, there's a new set of criteria where a lot of our special needs students who used to take the STAR Alt test now can no longer take it. They have to take the regular STAR test. And so they're at a severe disadvantage because they have different disabilities, but the state of Texas says, no, you can take that regular STAR test. All the testing now pretty much is online unless you have an exception that you can get a waiver from it. You would think intuitively that'd be easier for kids, but a lot of the stuff that the state wants you to do in these windows and dragging and scrolling and dropping, it's hard for them to manipulate. Here's what TEA said about the STAR scores. The 2024 results show declining math and science performances across all tested grade levels. The decrease in math is indicative of the significant challenges that persist for students in the subject area following the COVID-19 pandemic. Student performance in math has not recovered to pre-pandemic levels, making it clear that recovery will require a sustained effort to improve student outcomes. One more sentence. Results from the 2024 STAR 3 through 8 assessments reveal significant gaps in math across our schools. So they say all that, but then they don't do anything to help. And so, as we anticipated, some of our accountability scores may be a letter below, it might be 2 letters below. We had already guessed that come 6, 8, 9 months ago. So unfortunately, we're waiting to see how badly they stick it to public school to make us say, well, that school it's not good. You need to go to this private school. So unfortunately, that's kind of where we're at now. Our teachers are going to start really digging down into it. When we get more of the granular levels information back, we'll be able to know what TEKS they did poorly in. But our teachers are going to start planning in their PLCs and different planning to look at the curriculum and really try to attack it. One good thing that we did with our 3 pennies is that we hired some professional interventionists that we at one time could not afford. We were having interventions done by a lot of paraprofessionals because it's cheaper. And so now we're hoping to have some more tenured teachers in there helping the kids, and hopefully that will help the scores as well. So anyway, we're getting ready to gear up for another year and fight the good fight again, and hopefully the kids will keep improving. But it's just frustrating that the state doesn't do more to help. The example I would give is almost like if the school district was really mad at one department, like the cafeteria department, and we're going to do everything we can to stick it to Megan and the cafeteria ladies to where they're unsuccessful. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I emailed Mike Morath at TEA and asked him, what are you doing as the head of the department to lobby on behalf of teachers with the governor to get more money, just different things? No response. So anyway, it's pretty frustrating. But we'll delve into it in more detail when we get back all the different ratings, all the scores, and hopefully it won't look too bad, but I don't have my hopes up. So.
Is it also true that we bringing on a Bridget Register to work with STAR?
Yes. So Bridget's gonna be
I can
working
tell
with
you, that
accountability.
as my assistant principal, she was very, very good at digging really deep down and finding out where it is that we needed help.
Yeah.
She'll be a good asset for this.
So we've hired some good people, and teachers are good. They'll keep, it's the same teachers year in, year out, but I'm just afraid the state's gonna do some dirty tricks to try to make them look more poorly than what they're doing. And so anyway, we've got to keep the teachers' morale up. That other thing is that's a gut punch when you get back, well, your campus is a C, or, you got a D or F or whatever, that hurts your morale. And so we're hoping we don't get something that low, but we'll have to wait and see.
If they pass this, the funding to go anywhere, then what do you expect to lose from Gatesville?
Not
And where
much.
would they go?
Nothing.
I mean, drive to Waco or?
It's not,
So,
it doesn't have that big of an implication for us, only if
what
they
I'm
start
thinking.
handing out money for homeschool.
yeah.
Now, if they do that, that would probably hurt our more at-risk students, where maybe the families are kind of hanging by a thread already, and if you dangle money in front of them, they'll take it. And so, the state does not think about all those sorts of things when they're doing all their decisions. We'll have to wait and see. Any other questions about it?
Rather than go to a private school, like let's say someone wanted to leave Jonesboro and go to Oglesby, is that an option too?
They can do it now.
Can they
You
intertwine
can-
between?
Exactly. You can drive anywhere you want. Let's say, well, even Jonesboro, Oglesby, EVAP, none of them are good enough for me either. I want to go all the way to Belton. All you have to do is sign the transfer request form. Some districts may make you pay a little bit, some are it's totally free. And unless you're just a real big problem child, they're probably going to accept you. And, so basically, you have school choice already.
Yeah.
There is gonna be some recruiting going on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I think Shelby Slauson said, well, Barrett, if you've been more of a proponent of school choice, Gatesville ISD stood to gain like, I can't remember if she said 3 million, but just our injection of money from that $33 billion surplus. So she was kind of almost chastising me, well, if you've been more for it and more vocal about getting it, you would have gotten that money. So anyway, we,
Instant gratification.
yeah,
Not always the best.
that's right. That's right. All right, that's my soapbox on star scores.
All right, now things that we vote on, and we'll start with Alden Counseling.
Would y'all mind, since Ricky's here? Ricky, do you want to go first so you can get out of here quicker? Come on,
He
Come on up,
wait.
Ricky.
He's not special.
All right.
Ricky's here. We were going to make him wait to the very end of the meeting,
I don't mind.
but he's got a topic called advertising signage on press box. So Shine, I hope that doesn't mess you up if we go out of order.
I got
You got it?
They got a copy of that, Barrett. This,
No.
so we've been proposed from First National Bank of Gatesville about sponsoring, putting some branding for their logo and stuff on at the football stadium. And for years, we've kind of been hesitant on branding with corporate sponsors up there, other than like, selling actual signs and stuff. This would be their proposal. This would go in the back of the press box, so it would face along Hornet Way, and they would pay for the signage to get it up there. They would also, they're interested in making a 10-year commitment to the Hornet football program, and I don't know if I want to say exactly how much, but it's several $1,000s a year for 10 years in exchange for that. And what Hunter and I, with the bank members, we've talked about, that would be on the back of the press box, big enough for you to see, but also put some lights up there so you can see it daytime and nighttime. But we just kind of wanted to bring it here to see what you guys thought. I mean, we've been approached before about sponsorships in different ways, but never really facilities. We've renamed facilities in honor of people and past GISD employees, staff members, but we've never really gone this far. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a good idea. The monetary part is no doubt appealing, but it might be something that, besides the football stadium, they mentioned about going over to to a couple of other venues as well, and doing that. So they're trying to get their brand out in GISD right now.
So Ricky, they're not wanting us to rename anything. They're just saying we're sponsoring the
Yes, sir.
field.
That's exactly what it would look like. And all they're wanting for is just the logo, that they get a little
Which
recognition.
one is First National Bank?
It's
There's banks everywhere.
Ronnie Sullivan's out by the ballpark.
Which one?
Ronnie Sullivan's bank out by the ballpark.
Is this something that you would put out to bid for other banks to say, hey, we'll give you X amount for that? Or is this just something that Ronnie's come to you and you'd like to
He's
do
just come
business
to
with
us.
him because he wants to support you?
Yeah, and his bank, like many other businesses in town, that they've always been there. They've sponsored different things for GISD and throughout the community. So this is not his first time to do anything like, to support us. He kind of approached me with this idea. So and we're kind of on the building process right now, but before we finalize anything, just we kind of want to gauge interest from everybody up here.
But one-on-one, we're not seeking that. He's coming to you for,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And this money's just only gonna be used for football, right?
Yes, that was their intent, was for this part of it would be donations to Hornet football. But they have also, since then, even besides, while they're waiting on this, they've made contributions to other sports, sponsorships, and they would increase that as well too.
It's not any worse than what you have on the football school board. You'll have the sponsor on that.
Well, the baseball field, wall,
Yes, sir.
Would they like to support the air conditioners on the old buses?
They might.
Lloyd, it'll be like NASCAR, you'll have to wear a shirt with their name on it.
All the bus drivers on First National Bank.
You could probably get it done a lot faster like that. I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't mind telling you, I think it's a good deal. It does kind of face a opposing bank, but I don't think that's their intent. They just wanted somewhere up there. The original conversation was, can we be inside the stadium? So we mentioned about what cheerleaders sell as far as their signs that go on the fences around the stadium every year. So then they kind of mentioned the back of the press box where it could be seen by people passing by. And honestly, we don't have anything. If you drive by our stadium, unless you see what's on the front of the press box, you don't see the signage, the name of our stadium. So that would serve a good purpose in that regard too.
Yeah, basically all the banks help us in some capacity, and we don't typically turn them down, but because this is so visual, we want to make sure y'all are okay with it.
I think it might be a better idea, now this is just my thought, for us to announce that there are some things that the district would be willing to support signage and advertising, maybe the press box, maybe the scoreboard, maybe the eventual purchase of a really nice scoreboard that has messaging on it and pictures like a lot of them are doing around our district. And all of those are sponsored by people in the community. The district doesn't pay for any of those. They're way too expensive. So that any of the businesses that would like to help us in that way are more than welcome, but we need to come up with maybe one of our wish lists would be to have a really nice interactive scoreboard where you could show a replay or something like that. We've got all the technology with the cameras and things that have messages that scroll across. I noticed when we go to Taylor, they have one that plays music from a national football broadcasting station that plays really clean music that you don't have to worry about, the F word coming out and you go, oh my gosh, or about drinking on Saturday night and stuff like that. I don't know, that's just my idea. I have no problem with Mr. Sellens and the National Bank. He's a wonderful community supporter. He does lots of stuff. But I'm thinking maybe others would like at least the opportunity, if that's the direction we're going to go, we're going to start sponsoring some people it might be a way to really get some good stuff.
And we have in the past, we have put out social media threads, contacted businesses about sponsoring scoreboards. Most of our scoreboards now do have sponsors. That now football has some that they do yearly, but our scoreboards that we've done in softball, baseball, high school, junior high, gymnasiums the last few years all have been sponsored. Now, what you're talking about, Mr. Amen, with the video board and all of that, that's gonna take a lot, somebody with some big wallets to do something like that.
Well, the
I
banks
know-
have it.
Yeah.
You can put their name on all over it.
You know, I know like at La Vega ISD, they got half of their scoreboard paid for because through CTE money, that's one of their classes that they offer, one of their pathways. So they, in fact, that guy died a year ago that was teaching that class for them. So we had talked to him a couple of years ago when La Vega first got theirs. Theirs is outstanding. They have one of the best video boards around, but it won't be cheap by any means.
How much are those, Ricky? Do you know offhand?
You
Or ballpark?
can get in the conversation for about 250,000. I think the one at La Vega was about 400,000.
And this donation's nowhere near
No.
that.
No,
Just
not even
FYI.
close.
So how much is he gonna pay us for that?
I'm not sure if I want to say that right now. I mean, it's several $1,000s a year. I mean,
It was kind of still up in the air. We don't want to back him into a corner either in
Yes.
open session. But
I mean, it's not 1 or 2,000. It's not 25,000 either though.
And that's per year,
Yes,
Ricky?
sir, per year.
For 10 years.
For 10 years. And it might be something that gets other businesses to follow suit other places. You know, if they see something like that, you know.
And what, do you know what, by any chance, what the football team is gonna use it for, like uniforms or helmets or anything like that, or you're just gonna, what they're gonna use the money for? The football team?
Oh, no, not yet.
You don't know.
Earmarked it? No, not yet.
I mean, there's nothing there right now, right?
Right, it's
So,
empty.
to me, the highlight of this is Tommy Davidson Field at McCamey Stadium.
Mhm.
Like First National Bank, yes, it's their advertisement, but I don't know. I think that there's nothing wrong with doing this, and then along the way, if we are able to get others along, there might be something else.
Those
That we're
might
able
wanna
to
do
offer
it.
them for advertisement purposes, but this highlights that side because people park over there, right? I mean, I'm thinking
Yes,
of the right
people
side.
drive by
I mean, like
there
they're
every
parked,
day.
they're full of the church parking lot, so, I don't know, it just kinda, I see Tommy Davidson Field, I don't see First National Bank when I look at it, so that's what.
And that is, I mean, the First National Bank logo won't be near the size of Tom Davidson Field. I mean, it will be a smaller, just so you'll know it's there, but it will not be in comparable size to what Tommy Davidson Field will look like.
Ricky, if some other bank comes up and says, hey, we want to do something, do we have other areas that we could say, okay, if you want to put signage here, or?
We could find somewhere.
Yeah.
We could find somewhere.
I think that's fine.
Do they still sponsor like the footballs you throw at touchdowns? Does anybody, you said that somebody would sponsor all of that?
I think it's been a couple of years since they've done stuff like that. But they throw some towels, they've thrown some shirts and different things in the past. I don't know that we have like a little small plastic football sponsor.
But those are sponsored as well from?
Yes.
That's not something-
I'll tell you this, we get hit up all the time from people wanting to sponsor something, whether it be camp shirts or facilities, throw things at games. Our businesses in Gatesville are great. I mean, the last 3 or 4 years, they're calling and asking. But this is kind of a bigger ticket item, like our school board sponsorships are. They cost a little more.
So y'all think y'all want us to start saving towards a certain thing, like a Jumbotron or something like that?
Absolutely. Field house.
Yeah.
Some of those things that we can't normally afford.
Would y'all feel better if we kind of worked out a tentative plan with them and just bring that back to you, let you know exactly the details? Would that make you feel
Like the
better?
actual dollar amounts, y'all want to see that first, or are y'all good right now?
I'm good right
I'm
now.
fine.
I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Daryl,
Sort of.
have you ever heard it from a financial standpoint, do districts ever go to bid, like to get in a bidding war for signage?
For signage.
Have you ever heard of that? No? Okay. Because I was thinking about like the bidding type thing.
I don't have anything against Ronnie either at all. But I'm also a friend of Will Coward's who's trying to promote their bank as well. That's why I asked the question even, is this something that has gone out
Yeah.
that we're looking at doing and we'd like to get a sponsor? Or is it something somebody came to us and said, hey,
Yeah.
I want to do
They came to
this
us.
and I want to sneak in there so nobody else knows about it and give you this money and put my
last year, Will came to us with that idea to honor the teachers at halftime.
Sure.
And that was, again, all this stuff is unsolicited. They
Did we
just-
do it?
And we did it.
Yes.
So I mean, like, it's not like you're turning
Well,
donations
and
down.
that's giving teachers money.
Yeah.
And-
And it goes directly to them.
I'm good with it. I have nothing against Ronnie. I think he's.
So we have a
done great job
motion
with the Gatesville guys.
to approve advertising signage on the press box by First National Bank. Do I hear a motion? Calvin? A second? Charles, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Thanks, Ricky.
Thank y'all.
You can stay if you want to.
It's raining out there. I might stay, I wasn't gonna say that, Nancy, I was gonna back away, so I'm waiting.
All right, now Alderman Counseling.
Okay. Well, we've got a bunch of MOUs here in a row. Alderman Counseling, that's Ladessa. She's a local counselor, and her husband, Coach Allman, coaches for us, and we've had their 4 sons, and she provides mental health care for some of our students, kind of similar to the Freedom Reigns and Central County Services and all those. And so we started that partnership with her this past school year. And so this MOU would continue our partnership for our students in the 24-25 year. They provide these services with the least amount of disruption to the students' education. We've had a good working relationship with her, and both parties, like always, have the option to withdraw if anything goes wrong. It's at no cost to us. And so the recommendation is to approve the MOU as presented to keep Alderman Counseling as a partner for the 24-25 school year.
Do I hear a motion? Calvin, a second. Mr. Hobson, do I have any further discussion?
I just know I spoke with her because she's really a sweet, excellent
So
person.
you have positive.
Very, very.
Good.
All right, all in favor? Okay. Central Texas College.
Yeah, our MOU of CTC, about this time of year, we approve it in the summer. Let's see, this might be, we get a little bit mixed up here. Might be a typo though. There, let's see, this is, yeah, Central Texas College. This is the MOU that we're going over right now. So they are our dual credit provider. And so we offer, there's 2 courses at the high school that the kids take from CTC. And that is government and economics. And so we have about 40 kids who take advantage of the program each year. We've had this MOU with Central Texas College for a long time. It looks like the information item, if y'all are a little bit confused there, it looks like the Central County Services one is on there twice.
So the description's wrong, but
The description is wrong.
because my paper's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this one, we're doing CTC first. We'll do Central County Services here in a minute. That's a little bit confusing. So this one that we're on is Central Texas College, the community college. And like I said, we do government and economics with them. And you take that as a senior, and there's about 40 students who take it each year. So my recommendation is to continue our years-long partnership with CTC and approve the MOU as presented.
Do I hear a motion? Okay, Cheyenne, a second. Calvin, any further discussion? All in favor? All right. Central Counties Services.
And this is the old MHMR.
Okay.
And so they do things similar to Almond Counseling and Freedom Reigns. And so, again, this is free to us. The services provided are school-based. They help with mental illness, intellectual disabilities, and other developmental problems. And so they've been another partner with us for many years. And so we'd like to keep that going. They try not to disrupt the students' education. They work with the families too, and we've had a good working relationship with them. And so this MOU would continue that partnership, and it's just another resource for our kids and their families. So again, this MOU is for the 24-25 upcoming school year. And again, there's always that safety net of you can withdraw at any time if you're not happy. So my recommendation is to approve the MOU as presented to keep Central County Services as a partner for the 24-25 school year.
Do I hear a motion? Lloyd, Do I hear a second? Okay, Charlie. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Let's see. Now, we're getting up to time on the ordering the general election. So it's hard to believe, but another trustee election is looming. It'll be November. I think it will be Mr. Alderson and Miss Maxwell. And so we should be calling an election to be conducted on November 5th for the purpose of electing 2 trustees for their full 3-year terms. They'll have various polling locations in Coryell and Bell County from 7 to 7. Early voting will be conducted at various locations beginning October 21st and ending November 1st. And beginning today, they could have already started signing up for to be a candidate on file, have your name on the ballot. I don't think we got anyone today. But Mackenzie will be in tomorrow, and I'll let y'all know if we get anyone. So I would recommend that the board adopt a trustee election order calling for an election to be conducted on November 5th for the purpose of electing 2 trustees for full 3-year terms.
Do I hear a motion? Calvin, a second. Lloyd, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, now the administrator.
Presidential election should be a big turnout. That always brings people to the polls. All right.
What is the time frame for signing up?
Let's see, that starts
Starts
today and goes through not later than 5 p.m. on August 19th. So about almost a month to sign up. Charles can do a bunch of reflecting on life. Whether or not he wants to be tortured for another 3 years.
Got about 4 weeks.
And he looks a couple of days old.
Hey, I had a birthday.
I know,
Yeah.
that's why I said a couple of days old.
Yeah.
78, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
He could run for president. How about that? Too soon. That's too soon. I shouldn't have said
I hear there's an opening.
That's right. Well, closely related to that is appointing the election administrators. And so we have 2 people that really help things run smoothly, and that's Justin Crothers. He does a phenomenal job each year, and I'm so glad he does it. So the county will appoint the election judge and all the clerks necessary for election day. Bell County Elections Administrator will also be conducting for that little bitty part of Bell County that has GISD voters in it. But again, for Coryell County, the vast majority, it's Justin Crothers. And then that Dr. Desi Roberts, who's been doing it for a couple years, they do a good job also. And the Chief Deputy, Jeanette Compion. So I recommend that the board appoint Justin Crothers for Coryell County Tax Assessor and voting clerk, and our election administrator for Coryell County. And then I also recommend that the board appoint Dr. Desi Roberts as the Bell County election administrator.
Do I hear a motion? Okay, Charles. A second. Lloyd. All in favor? Anybody have a question? Okay, all in favor. Okay. Carrie Roberts.
Happy birthday. It's your birthday.
Thank you.
So this is a unique item. The TASB Board of Directors spots are filled per each region. And so Region 12 has an X number of spots, and when they come open, school board members, current school board members in that region are allowed to run for those TASB Board of Directors positions. And school boards within the region endorse certain candidates if they choose to, and it's like a vote. That's like voting for the candidate. We don't normally do this because we don't normally know any of the candidates. But Carrie Roberts is the school board president in Goldthwaite ISD, or Goldthwaite CISD. My brother's an administrator over there. I don't know Carrie personally. She called me to ask if I would present this to you guys to give her your endorsement or not. And I talked to Dr. Pollard. So if she's going to put enough effort in to call someone, I'll at least present it. She's running against members from Killeen and the Waco area, I believe. I think she claimed to be the only small school representative running in this session. And so she included a bio, and she asked that she's asking that GISD School Board endorse her candidacy for TASB's Board of Directors. Local school boards with a TASB region containing a vacancy or expiring soon can endorse a nominated candidate by submitting their endorsement form before August 29th. So we have this board meeting to either say yes or no. It's completely up to you. Only the vouch I have for Carrie is that my brother works there, and he said she's a good school board president. She's running and wanted to put this out there to you guys. Any
How
questions?
does that position get filled? Is it the membership?
It's a membership, so it's a tally of votes, I guess. Whoever gets the most endorsements per school board, they count those as votes, and then whoever wins will be appointed a member to the TASB Board of Directors for a term similar to a local school board. And so she didn't have any expectations with it. She just said put it out there. And so based on that, it's my recommendation to submit the endorsement form from GISD for Carrie Roberts for the TASB Board of Directors.
We don't know anything about her.
She included a bio in the packet, and I don't have the bio with me.
She's a lawyer by profession.
She's a lawyer by profession. She works for a title company now. She's been on the school board in Goldthwaite for, I believe, 12 years, 10 or 12 years. And you can choose not to endorse. I mean, that's not the only reason I'm standing is because she put in the effort to call me and ask us to do it. No one has done that since we've been here.
I was wondering, and I mean, like, are there other options? I mean, there's nobody, but they just haven't reached out to us.
They have not
We're
reached
the
out
only
to us.
one.
There are other people in the running. Her angle to me was, I'm calling the small schools to try to get the small school support because I'm from Goldthwaite and I'm a small school representative, and the small schools need an advocate on the TASB Board of Directors. That was her angle to me, her words to me. So she talks about her. They have a new superintendent there who's encouraged her to run, and so she's put her name out there. And that's where we're at. And that's how the voting process works. I guess if you're from, Goldthwaite School Board will obviously endorse her, and she'll get a vote there. Whoever's running in from the Clean ISD, I'm assuming their school board will endorse them, and they'll get a vote there.
And that's where your brother-in-law is.
My brother is a middle school principal.
Okay.
Who's the superintendent there?
I don't know. He's from Abilene. I don't know who they hired. I can't remember his name. He started this summer.
The gal that was the elementary principal and her husband was the superintendent. They're not no longer.
He just retired this year.
Okay.
This was
she
his.
did too, I guess.
This was his. She actually moved from Brownwood Brownwood early a few years ago and took a job over there. And that guy just sometime in the spring finished his career.
All right. We have a motion to endorse Carrie Roberts. Do I hear a motion? Okay, it fails for lack of a motion.
There you go.
I don't even
Student code of
recommend papers.
conduct.
Yeah.
So does that just mean we all abstained? I've never had to do that.
We'll just
before.
say we tabled it.
Okay.
We'll table it.
I think I understand. I don't understand the process because if she wanted our school board, if she needs our school board to win it,
she does.
Then I don't understand why the other people aren't giving us information about them. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean. We're the other
It's like a
people.
race.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. But I see.
I don't know either. That's why we've never brought one to you.
I think we could invite her over here to visit with us, and
That's what I was wondering, if she could come and
Come on,
present
come.
herself.
It is until the 29th is the deadline, August 29th, so we will have another board meeting
August
before then.
29th.
Yeah,
I was
tell
like,
her.
oh god.
She's welcome to come.
We just missed her.
I'll let her know that.
Okay.
All right.
I hate to vote for somebody I don't
We don't even know.
about.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it.
And I was honest with her. I told her that's the case. I told her I'll be happy to put it out there, but I don't know any of the details, and we haven't done this before. And so she was nice about it.
Perfect.
She's not it's her first time through the process too.
We'll see how badly she wants it.
That's right.
That's it. Student code of conduct.
All right, this is, the school board adopts the student code of conduct every year. And it's only updated in legislative years, so there were no major state updates to the student code of conduct this year. We take the model student code of conduct and we insert a few Gatesville ISD specific items, and those are highlighted in yellow in the code of conduct. And the only addition that I can recall right now is from this year is Sergeant White encouraged us to look at some wording around prohibited substances. The reality is you can be under 18 and buy something at a smoke shop in town that has a stronger THC content than legal marijuana does. And that's not, it has different names and it's not technically by the letter of the law marijuana. And so he encouraged us to put something around prohibited substances in there. And so we added a little section, I think that was it right there maybe. Added, a section on prohibited substances and defined them a little bit more clearly on what a prohibited substance is, but everything else is the same. We didn't make any other changes to the code of conduct. Based on that, it is my recommendation to approve the GISD code of conduct as presented. If there are any questions about it, I'll be happy to answer them.
And first time alcohol or tobacco or vaping is how much?
First time offenses are mandatory. I mean, those offenses that you just listed, alcohol, drugs, and vaping, are mandatory DAP placements. And
For how long on the first offense?
So we're gonna come to y'all with something a little bit different. So
Okay.
right now, last year it was just 45 days across the board, first, second, third, whatever. So we sat down with all the principals and we said, okay, what would y'all like to do a little bit differently given everything? What they would like to do is if a student cooperates with the investigation. So in other words, I did it, I've got it, it's right here, willingly, no. Then when they're a DAP, they're up for a review, I believe, at either 30 or 35 days. So they have basically the opportunity to get out 15 days earlier and get out sooner. If they hide the vape, if they're not forthcoming, the administrators have to go through all the hoops, or if they act up at DAP, then they would just do the 45 days. But the principals wanted to give an incentive for kids to be upfront about it and say, okay, I've got it, I have it.
And that, the length is not in the code of conduct. The code of conduct just classifies it as a mandatory placement.
The length is in the student handbook.
The length is a local decision. And I don't know that it's mapped out by days in this, even in the student handbook. I'll have to double check that.
Do I hear a motion?
Question.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We had the deal at the end of the year last year, graduating seniors that didn't get to walk because they were in AEP. Do we need to put a statement or a date in there that after such and such date, graduating seniors may be subject to be withheld from graduation? Give them a date when
Right, like if you get,
when it kicks in?
yeah, if you get caught with a vape after March 1st
That
or
would be in
something.
the other one.
That's also in the handbook, and just from being a high school principal, the challenge with that is there's so many different offenses with different lengths. If you get caught with marijuana, it'd be one date that it would trigger. If you get in a fight, it could be a different date that triggers, because those are different placement lengths.
Okay.
It does say in there that you won't be able to participate in graduation if you're in DAP
So we
at
do
the
have
time
that
of
in there?
graduation.
Well, this is the code of conduct, so they're saying in the handbook, we're gonna modify it for that situation.
Okay.
So that's the student handbook, but this is
I'm
the
with
code,
you.
okay.
I just.
'Cause I was thinking the same
wanting
thing,
You
but-
set a date so that they know, or parents know.
If I get in trouble after this date, I could be, but it's.
But you're right, if they're in the
Might be 45 days
they're
from
not allowed.
graduation.
Sir?
Might be 45 days from graduation.
Yeah.
This is where you better be careful.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, do I hear a motion? Okay, Charlie, second. Lloyd. Any further discussion? All in favor? Go. Okay, we'll go into executive session. And it is 6:29.